Step forward if
Okay.
you agree. I promote healthy standards as an influencer.
Are they okay? Why are they walking like that? The fit people are already kind of
We need
creepy.
to discuss what healthy means.
Okay, so this video is: can fat and fit influencers find common ground? This is by Jubilee. Yikes on the title though, bruh. Like, I can say I'm a big girl, right? But I wouldn't say, hey, Christine, you're done. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear what you just said. Oh my goodness. So if I was to be chosen for this, I would have that title though, like, oh, okay, clearly I'm in the fat club, not the fit club. And I wouldn't say that I'm fit now. I'm a meatball, you know? And that's cool to me, right? I'm good with that, you know? I mean, I could be better with it, but it's okay. But I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm fat, you know? I still find it like if someone cause, oh, you're fat, you know, I would feel, you know, it's I don't really think it would be cool if someone called me fat, you know? I don't mind being thick. Oh, if you call me thick, yes, I'm here for it. But call me fat? I don't think so. You don't think so? No. All right, let's get into the video. Can fat and fit influencers find common ground? This is a middle ground video by Jubilee. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out the link in the description box below for the link. And yeah, let's get into it.
You love middle ground? I know I do. Did you know that every purchase made at the Jubilee shop helps fund this show? If you're looking for ways to support
that's
Jubilee
good.
and watch more episodes of Middle Ground, make sure you check out our merch at shop.jubileemedia.com. Honestly, every one of your purchases goes such a long way, and we're so grateful for you. Now enjoy this episode.
Okay.
When I hear the term fat influencer, I'm thinking like an unhealthy standard being set. I just can't get behind being complacent.
Well, I want to say that it doesn't mean complacency.
So I have a question that's hopefully not, you know, mean. There's no shade, but out of the two words that are in the influencer, what side is he on? The one that said it, the one that was right here. Is he which side is he on? Just a question.
My name's Timothea, and fitness has been a huge part of my life, and I love to share what I know about it. Overall, it's just a way of life.
I do follow a
My name is
few
Tyler.
fit.
I'm a fat influencer, and on my platform, I like to spread body positivity, mental health awareness, and fashion, looking good while fat.
Okay,
So when I think
I
of
see
the
you.
word fat influencers, I
Do you see
think
his
of
muscle
influencers
legs?
who are either promoting others to be
Goodness, the
fat
muscles in
the
his
same
legs.
sense that fitness influencers promote fitness.
I don't like people that
No.
obsess over being fat, just like I don't like people that obsess over fitness. I'm in my own fitness journey, and a lot of people like it because I'm not the stereotypical dude.
The misconception.
Okay. I was surprised to learn which side he's on. So he's at the beginning of his journey. I am for body positivity, right? But I feel like people who are like, oh, against body positivity feel like you're saying, hey, you know, don't ever get healthy, which isn't the case. It's the aspect of, you know, being okay and accepting yourself at this stage and not hating who you are, because that's the problem. The problem is a lot of us don't like our body, and body positivity isn't just for fat people. Body positivity is especially good for people. Is it dysmorphia? Is that the one that where you look what your perspective is warped on how you actually look, right? And you've got people with bad self-esteem. There's so many layers to body positivity, and it's not just strictly, hey, I'm fat and I don't want to ever work out and I don't ever want to be healthy, so I want everyone to be like me. I feel like if you don't want to work out and that's what you don't want to do, then that's cool, you know, whatever works for you. But body positivity is not strictly I am agreeing to be lazy and complacent, you know. It's more so just loving who you are. It's dysmorphia, right? Yeah, dysmorphia.
Perception that the opposite side has of me is that I have some agenda to keep people fat, to promote obesity, to
Which is
tell
not the
anybody
case.
anything about their size.
Step forward if
Okay.
you agree. I promote healthy standards as an influencer.
Are they okay? Why are they walking like that? The fit people are already kind of
We need
creepy.
to discuss what healthy means first, because healthy means many different things. So, like, what does health mean to you guys?
For me, I don't focus on diet and weight loss as a tool for health and how I communicate that. I focus on movement and finding movement that works for you, that feels good and is sustainable in your body. Because ultimately, I think everybody would agree, movement is healthy, exercise is healthy. In the fitness world, and I myself am a yoga instructor, so I kind of straddle both sides. I think there's
Okay.
an overemphasis on physicality and diet and exercise.
Personally, I'm a fat guy, and
Okay.
I've been tired of being a fat guy. And I've actually been told that my approach to it is a little bit extreme. So,
What's
I'll
your
do like 24-hour
approach?
fasts, I'll do intermediate fasting, liquid diets, things like that. Some people say it's an unhealthy habit. They say like I got an eating disorder, but
Oh,
at the
dear.
same time, I am seeing results. I do feel like I can run faster, jump higher, walk longer. I kind of
That's-
feel like when I hear the term fat influencer, I'm thinking like an unhealthy standard being set.
Okay. Because we know the other guy's gonna jump in. Before that guy does, I want to say that can't we be just be called plump instead of fat? I like plump. I'll be fine with being called plump. The thing with what he was saying from what he was doing, if he's jumping from one thing to another, then yeah, that's not healthy, right? You want to do less of the traditional diet mindset of like fad diets, and you want to have a way of life. You want to make healthier habits, healthier decisions with what you eat and, your movement and things like that. So,
I just can't get behind being complacent.
Well, I want to say that it doesn't mean complacency, right? So a little bit about me is that I was a 3-sport athlete almost my entire life, went to college and played a sport. And then I decided, I've always been, a big person, and I was able to manipulate my weight because I also wrestled. So I would bulk up for football season, lose for wrestling, and rinse and repeat. Because of that, though, now my approach is really just about making sure that you take care of your total self. So your
Right.
mind and your body.
mind, body, and soul
And also just making
become
sure that
one.
you check in with medical professionals. I work in healthcare, and so I don't tend to take advice from people who are not medical professionals.
And
That makes
I
sense.
would just like to speak up. We're all different. Yeah, there are fat influencers out there that have unhealthy lifestyles that share it, but that's their lifestyle. There are fat influencers that are motivational, that are
Right.
trying to lose weight. There are fat influencers out there that just are existing in this world and trying to make it accommodating to themselves and people that look like them. So there are so many fat people in this world, and to like label them all a certain way or to put them in a category where they have to perform to make you feel comfortable is disingenuous. It's not
Right.
good.
Right.
That's what kind of upset me. That's why I started my journey at the end of the day was because, I was depressed. I lost my job in the midst of COVID.
Oh, so
And
this is
I'm
like a
happy
new
who I
video.
am. And then I see someone on social media that's like, it's okay to be who you are. And I was like, you're telling me that the way I
So, no. Okay, so his situation is like we've talked about this last time, right? Where people sometimes digest things with their trauma or listen with their trauma or talk with their trauma, right? And I think it's one thing to have a perspective on something and have an opinion, but I do feel like it's another thing where because of trauma that you have either internalized or are going through, you may hear things a certain way. That's when some people when you talk to them, they're like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Instead of them actually hearing what it is you're trying to say. And yes, there are bad communicators out there. They exist. But like, if you have someone that no matter who they're talking to, they feel like everybody's like attacking them or they take things badly every time anybody's talking to them, that means that they're because of internalized trauma that they have, it is affecting how they are receiving information, right? And I think for him, that's the case. He was saying he doesn't like how he is, or he didn't like himself. He was depressed. And then here comes somebody saying, hey, you should love who you are, or you should be who you are. And he took it as, hey, you're telling me that the way I feel is okay. And they're not telling you, hey, stay depressed. The problem that you are depressed is because you didn't like who you are. They're just trying to say, love who you are. You can still want to lose weight and like who you are. That's possible. It's possible.
Feel is okay, but at the end of the day, I hate how I feel. And so it was kind of out of protest that I started this journey. And I'm damn glad I did. At the end of the day, you're doing a disservice to the people around you that care about you, whether it be close, relatives, society, etc.
What, if you're
someone
fat?
use a platform like that, as a fellow fat kid my entire life, it just pissed me off.
I hear what you're saying and it's valid. I've been fat my entire life. I was a fat kid, fat teenager, fat adult, just fat. And that is not my story. And I see that played out over and over and over again in the world, in art, in TV, in movies, like the sad fat trope. Nobody's gonna want you.
Yeah.
And that plays into the way we treat fat people, but that is not a story. So I hear that you were sad, you were unhealthy, you were uncomfortable, you were isolated, like we can all relate to that.
Right.
But that is not the story of every fat person.
Right. Hold on. But the other thing is, when you, people do, they're when they, okay, let me slow down. A lot of the times when they have somebody in a movie or TV show that is fat, so a lot of times when they do have fat people in a movie or TV show, you do see that they are unhappy with themselves. A lot of the times, not every time, right? And when she said that, I was like, you know what, you're right. And that's something that they put out. And then when you have a celebrity, I remember when Lizzo was embracing who she is, and how a lot of people were like, hey, it's what her loving herself is not right. And I'm like, how are you going to tell someone that loving themselves isn't right? You can say that, hey, you do feel like people should be healthier, right? And you do think that people should value health in a different way than not wanting to do anything about it, right? But to put that label on somebody and be like, oh, what you're doing is wrong, that's definitely not the case. For me, I feel like I have self-esteem issues and body positive issues and things like that. But those are things that I have to work through, right? And I don't put it on, the idea of being fat as the issue. I mean, I had low self-esteem and body problems when I was skinny. Right now, my mindset is like, man, I should have really valued myself when I was 112 pounds, because I feel the same. It's just my body's sluggish, and sometimes it's even just different things and different changes that you can make in your in how you dress and stuff to make you feel better. But being body positive, I want to push this. Being body positive does not mean that you are like, I don't believe anybody should be healthy. Because even if someone is body positive and they are saying, hey, I'm not going to work out, that doesn't mean that they are controlling the mindset of other people, right? To therefore then not want to be healthy. If somebody is they're not a mass population, yeah, they might get one or two, right? But the mass population is not going to be like, oh, this person's not healthy and this person doesn't want to be healthy, so therefore I'm not going to be healthy. Their mindset is, hey, I'm gonna, if they're pushing actual body positivity, I'm just going to be happy with who I am. People need to calm down.
I am on a journey to like myself in my skin. And that is something I believe is obtainable through hard work and dedication. I mean, nothing else worked, loving yourself, quote unquote, made me eat KFC 3 times a day.
That's no boo boobs. He's got to talk to somebody. As a member of the depressed crew, right? Because I do suffer from depression. He's got to talk to somebody. I think he would feel better about himself, even if he changed his clothes. Because even when he, and this is not even a external judgment on him. This is something I had to do for me. You can tell he's still unhappy with who he is. And the fact that he's defining loving himself as overeating, it's warped. it's definitely warped. It is truly warped, and he's definitely gotta see somebody.
And that is something I believe is obtainable through hard work and dedication. I mean, nothing else worked. Loving yourself, quote unquote, made me eat KFC 3 times a day.
That's not what that
And
means.
gain a lot of weight and turn sedentary. Hating myself encouraged me to be different and encouraged me to change my life. And
That's not healthy. That is not healthy. That is not healthy. Here's the thing. If you're not happy with yourself now and you're hating yourself now, chances are you're still going to hate yourself later. And who knows if there will be a weight or a body type that you will reach that will satisfy the way that you look at yourself. And this is not to tell him to stop doing the healthy bit. Yes, do make changes, find a healthy path to be healthy, and find ways to motivate yourself, but not hating yourself. Not hating yourself. That's a warped definition on loving yourself and hating yourself and the benefits
as a
and
result,
things of that.
I've influenced thousands of kids younger than me's lives.
Fat shaming is worse than skinny shaming.
What's skinny shaming? Okay, this chick hasn't even talked yet.
It is based off of aesthetic. Like, oh, you're so skinny. I wish I could be like that. I wish I could eat whatever I want and stay skinny. There are these assumptions. we have
That's what
about people
skinny
in
shaming
fat
is, okay.
bodies that we don't place on thin people, even if they're thin beyond health. And it really makes it so that fat people are overlooked, and it creates an environment where it's okay to perpetuate hate and even violence.
Being thin won't
Is someone
limit you from
being violent
able
to
shop
fat
where you wanna
people?
shop. You can walk into a clothing store, get clothes right off the rack. Sometimes even have excess. You could go up or down the rack. In my experience, those are not my.
Oh yeah, because plus
I shop
size.
online because I wear a size 15 shoe, because I'm 6'2" and I have a very broad body.
The skinny shaming, there is that backhanded compliment. You see that all the time. But when it comes to the fat shaming, you just see more negative out of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's horrible to see.
But being fat is still taboo, believe it or not.
Yeah.
My partner and I'm a gay man dating another fat black gay man, and we have gone viral on the internet a couple times. And you know what some of the comments were?
What?
I've never seen 2 fat people together. I get pats on the back for posting a picture at the beach with no shirt on. Why am I being patted on the back for that?
Right.
Can they
That's
disagree a step forward?
hold on. That's a unique statement to say. I've never seen 2 fat people be together. Are you stupid? You gotta be stupid for that to be your comment. Like, I've never seen 2 like they're unicorns. They're out there. Why would you assume? Hello? It is a horrible thing to say, but also they're stupid. One thing I'm gonna show these roles. Yes, boo. Embrace the roles, okay? Like, why would you say that? I never knew.
Well, when I hear
Yes,
fat
goodness.
shaming, skinny shaming, all that stuff, I just think back to like middle school, high school, picking on kids. It's bullying. I believe everyone goes through body dysmorphia. One of my homegirls is a model, and she's always complaining how she doesn't like the way she looks, even though like 99% of all women would probably prefer they looked like her. She hates the way she
See, that's
looks.
what I was talking
I wish
about.
my boobs were bigger. I wish my butt was bigger. I believe, that's the media, that's the entertainment industry, is they have a standard of what, at the end of the day,
Wait, is he saying?
desired, I guess, but not everyone's built like Marilyn Monroe.
You said 99% of women would probably want to look like her. That's, to me, some of the language that is the problem. Is that I'm assuming.
Hold on, was he using that to argue that fat shaming is not worse than skinny shaming? So he's saying that because of media, skinny shaming is worse because of dysmorphia? But I do feel like anybody can have dysmorphia,
She's probably of a thinner body, right? Because she's a model. But a lot of women don't. It's okay. Your body you are the standard. You are the model. You are
Yeah.
the beauty. Like the fact that we think like that already is still what the problem is, and it's still why, to me, fat shaming is worse than the skinny shaming. Because like even our language, I know people just desire this really thin body. You know, it's like that's the language in the language. When I get negative comments about my relationship with my partner, I kind of like to troll back. For example, if I tweet a picture of us kissing, dancing, people will spew the homophobic slurs and stuff. So I like to then just share more pictures of us kissing.
Yes,
and
boo.
really double
Yes.
down into it and let them know, honey, you know, we're here to stay. The girls
Yes,
aren't
boo,
going anywhere.
yes.
You know, and just letting them know that I'm confident in myself. I'm happy. I'm in love, and I'm living my life.
Yes, boo. Yes. Okay. As you
I
should,
don't
Tyler.
think I've
As
ever
you
been
should.
shamed for my body. I was always moving. I was always, that I stayed fit my whole life. To be a fitness influencer, you have to have that image, that skinny, fit, toned look. That's really not the case. If you have the knowledge, if you have the passion to want to help people with their fitness journey, it doesn't matter. I highly believe that.
I feel
She's nice,
pressure
she's nice.
to look a certain way for my followers.
On an island.
Yeah, I started. I'm a fat kid losing weight, man. I got an expectation to uphold. I get people all the time.
I think
haters
he needs a hug.
that are like, oh, he's gonna quit, crash diet, blah blah blah. But then there's kids that tell me, you got me out of bed today. You're the best person on the internet. Like, I love you. If I can motivate someone, one person a day, to do something to
He
better
needs
themselves,
a hug.
I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep myself going, and that means not quitting, and that means looking a certain way, always developing, always growing, and because if I quit, I'm letting down thousands of people.
The letting down thousands of people, I think that would be a better, like, and mind you, it can be unhealthy, right? As an influencer, when you put the weight of thousands of people on your psyche and what you do and how you're going to live your life and how you're going to work and how you're going to do everything you're going to do, right? That's a lot of pressure. But out of the two that he has, right, letting people down or hating himself, I'd rather he be like, hey, I'm going to stay on this journey because I don't want to let people down, versus, hey, I'm going to stay on this journey because I hate myself, Out of the two, I'd rather he did the other one. Yeah, it is sad that he feels that way. He just needs a hug. I think after this, that they need to hug him. They need to hug him.
I feel a lot of pressure, but I think with practice, you get over those pressures. You learn how to deal with it and understand that the pressure is really from yourself. It's internalized. Like, you're thinking about what others think of you, when in reality they could care less. They don't even see the little things.
That's exactly it. I think we should stop worrying about what other people think.
But it's so hard. I mean, like, I could say that every day, and
It is.
I still think about what people think.
It is. We all do.
Yeah, it is.
But
Yeah,
that's
it's hard,
something
but
that is a good challenge.
it's
all
hard
of
for
us.
sure.
That's something that we need to. You really just try, and once we get on that road, it's not easy. We're gonna have days where we're just gonna be like, oh, things. I think, but if we can get past that, even just a little bit, it's just gonna make our lives even easier. Just stop worrying about other people. Worry about yourself. Yeah.
I also just feel like, like everybody else, this is my account, and you are a guest here.
This
I
is
have
your
had to learn
space.
to not be that way. So, and for Nick, I understand that your social media and your journey is very different. Like, I could clearly see how people or your following would have those expectations for you to continue to lose the weight.
Right.
Join this guy
'Cause
so
you're-
he could join his journey on his weight
Right.
loss. So we only want to see him doing the weight loss. Like, you better not plateau or gain. I could definitely see
I can
that.
understand.
Well,
That's
it's
understandable.
a sense of accountability, and it really helps me keep my shit going. Otherwise, I would have dropped out a long time ago, to be honest. And I don't do this is how
Okay.
I do a curl and things like that. I just do how I feel. I sort of have a self-deprecating outlook on myself and how I feel. It's sort of like a military style thing. Like, you're trash. Like, you will never be good.
No.
Just give up type thing to myself.
Baby,
I
no.
think it's interesting that you say that, because the content that I post is not just for people. It's mostly for me, and it's part of my own. It's cathartic to see myself in like sweating.
I feel like I'm not gonna lie, it makes me sad. I haven't watched his content, right? not to say that there's a positive way to say the things that you said, but like we are seeing him in this light. The concern I have is that if he's saying those things to himself on his platform, right? The people that he is motivating could therefore then be saying those things to themselves. That's the concern I have. But let's say, because some people can have a self-deprecating humor, right? And when that happens, and if it's not too bad, then it's not something that really, ruins other people, but it just depends on how thick it is and what's being said and how it's being said. There's a lot that could go with it.
Like trying to do a headstand and falling or looking glam for an event and everything between. So being authentic and like showing up as I am, whether people like it or not, or expecting it or not, is an exercise in self-love. It helps me accept myself.
That's good. That's
really
good.
shy as a kid and also, overweight or fat. I think the misconception is that I wasn't intelligent and that I was lazy. Like that's a lot of the bullying I got, right? Yeah, I don't think I dealt with it well. It wasn't until later in life where I started to kind of reject that narrative.
That's good.
Weight
That's
loss
good.
programs are toxic.
I feel like it depends. It depends on what.
Fitness promoters are promoting these weight loss programs or these diets that aren't working for everyone. And it's kind of sad to see.
It's different for
because
everybody.
It's really affecting people and like the way they see fitness and health, and it's toxic.
I think, and the focus is always, or it seems to be like, just lose the weight, just lose the weight, just lose the weight, and then you'll be happy and everything will be okay, and you'll feel good, and you'll
That's how
finish well.
they sell it.
Whoa, I can lose all that weight and I could still be miserable.
Also
Personally, in my
true.
journey, one
Also
of my
true.
biggest points is I do not use a scale because goals to me are limitations. And when you hit that goal, you get comfortable, aka complacent. You're like, oh, I'm gonna lose
That's
10 pounds
possible,
and
yeah.
I'm good. And so I don't focus on the weight. I focus on everything else. I focus on, getting out of bed, that routine of going to the gym, the routine of eating healthy, that normal feeling of like a caloric deficit.
And he said he noticed that he could do.
I'm a fitness trainer too, and I tell my clients.
He said that he noticed that he can, run longer or jump higher. He's focusing. I think that's good. That's good. For him to focus on like how he's feeling in his body versus the scale. You got to ultimately find what works for you, because some people, it is the scale that works for them, right? And then for some, it could be a very diminishing thing to have a scale.
And so I'm like, the scale really doesn't tell you much. You're gonna fluctuate. It's water weight, it's a lot to it. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror. You gotta see those physical changes.
I don't even think it's the physical changes, because I'm gonna be straight up. I probably had body dysmorphia for a little bit, and I would always like check myself in the mirror. Like after eating, I would check myself because I wanted to keep a six-pack. The fitness industry told me that I needed a six-pack. You hear fitness influencer, and like the first thing you think is like weight loss program, selling a program, selling a course.
That's what you
And
think
I
of,
purposely
yeah.
wore this shirt this morning just to see like if there would be any extra bias. One thing I noticed about fitness, being in this space for so long, is that just because you're into fitness doesn't mean you're into health.
True. Very true. Very true.
I told everyone that I dealt with body dysmorphia, and I think in terms of dealing with it, it's just learning that my value is not completely tied to my appearance. There's so many other things that I can see value in myself now. I really do enjoy the autonomy I have over my own health and my own wellness.
That's good.
I
He
have
got
suffered
his
from
leg
eating
muscles got
disorders.
muscles. Oh, everyone.
I didn't realize it until a couple years after, but I was tracking like every food. I did track calories, macros. Man, I had my scale and I would bring it like to the college's dining hall. I would like weigh everything. And it would get to the point where I would either eat before going out, like if I knew my friends were gonna go out to eat, I would eat at home so I
So
could measure
I wonder
all the
which
food
disorder
out,
this
put
is.
it into my fitness pal, and then go out and not eat with them. Probably just not go out at all.
Food and fitness really took over my life for a few years. I was super, super obsessed with just getting that goal weight or looking good and everything like that. And I found myself just super depressed. And I, didn't eat the foods I wanted to eat. And I over-exercised, and I wasn't myself. It was just a horrible point in my life, and I had to go see a doctor. I had to get that help. Mentally, I wasn't there.
She was,
So
okay.
these things are real. Like, this stuff happens, and people don't reach out enough.
The last time I had really restricted my eating, I needed to lose like almost 30 pounds in like 11 days.
What?
And
What?
I did that, and I stepped on the wrestling mat, and I had absolutely no strength. I had no energy, no strength. I got whooped. I got tossed up and down the mat. And
Yikes.
then after that,
30
I
pounds in
told
11
myself that I would
days?
never do it again. But of course, out of bad habits, I just picked up another bad habit and then began to enjoy binge eating. And then it was like, okay, well, now I'm not restricting anything, and now everything goes.
And how are you now?
Now I'm much better. Therapy, medication.
That's good. That's
Every day
good.
Practicing.
That's good.
Doing the right kinds of things. I'm much better now.
That's good. That's good.
I suffered from an eating disorder. I had childhood trauma, and it took me until my adulthood to realize I was pacifying with food, and that's something that was taught to me. And then on the other
that's
end
like
of that,
eating your
with extreme
feelings.
Dieting, like I did the HCG protocol, where you eat 500 calories a day and give yourself an injection.
Okay, hold on, let me see. The HCG diet uses an extremely low calorie intake to achieve dramatic weight loss. The Food and Drug, or the FDA, has deemed this diet dangerous, illegal, and fraudulent. Oh gosh, illegal diets? Goodness.
For months on end. And so I have done the full spectrum.
The 500 calorie diet, was that something with like a medical professional that they recommended?
Yeah,
Yikes.
How was that? Like, I can.
it was traumatic. It drove me into a spiral. Like, I can relate to what you're saying about like bringing your scale and eating before you went out with your friends. 'Cause that was me. It's really, it's taken so much time for me to get to a point to even know what I like to eat. And it took me until like 25, 30 to even realize, okay, I don't actually like eating that. I actually don't like this. I like this. And it's been really healing to like reclaim my relationship with food
That
and to say
sucks.
like, okay, this is what I like and this is what makes me feel really good.
That, like, hold on. That sucks to be at a point where, you grow up and you don't even know what types of foods you like, right? To like live your life and not know until you're like a grown adult about what you really like when it comes to food. And I can relate to that, not in the food sense, but into certain other aspects of like who I am. It's kind of my essence of learning about who I am and what do I like, not in regards to food, right? Because I'm a foodie. Yeah, as y'all can tell, I'm a meatball. I haven't had my issues with food in a long time. So I have, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. But that's, I'm glad she's at a better place now. I'm glad that she's in a better place now.
Influencer, what are some things I can do that helps out the other side, which would be fat influencers? What are like certain things that you guys promote that you could see me promoting?
Really want people to stop looking at fat people and all of a sudden becoming medical professionals and telling me about high blood pressure and diabetes, because again, you're not a medical professional, right? Like let's let the fat people do the mukbangs too, Like, if you want to do one, that is so cool. But if a fat person wants to do one, let us just do it in peace. That would be my takeaway. You never know what we're doing behind the scenes. You don't know how many therapists, how many doctors, dietitians. You have no idea how many things that we've had.
I want to know a little bit more about the beauty standard on, we're in 2021 and it's not like back in the day now. Are we making the right direction? Is that good?
I think it's reactive. It's good. Like, visibility is important. I've talked about this before earlier. I think that we all deserve to be represented, no matter what we look like.
Right.
No matter the status of our health. We should all see ourselves in the world.
Right.
So I think, there is progress being made there.
Representation equals normalization. That's what that means. Lay down and watch it. Right, good night. Bye, Bad Bella. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much. Thank you.
brands that are making sizes that more people can wear. You're seeing body diversity on magazines and things like that.
That's true.
But it's
That's
very
true.
reactive, and it's very tied into commerce and marketing. So is it real? I don't know, but it's part of our culture, and it's slowly shifting for whatever reason, like regardless. It will eventually have an impact on society as a whole. So yes
Eventually,
and
yeah.
no.
Is it going to promote people to think it's okay to be overweight?
Here's the thing, people have been fat since people have existed.
Right. Right.
I don't think that showing us as we are is going to have a negative impact. We are here. We've always been here.
Yeah,
You can
that's
go
true.
to the Louvre and see sculptures of fat people. Fat people have always been around.
Being a fitness influencer, it's good to see that perspective from everyone too. We all have our differences, but as long as we stay on the path that we want to stay on, healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally, we're going to be okay.
Right.
And it's okay to get help. It always is okay to get help.
Thank you so much, everyone.
That's my thing. People who have this mindset that, oh, if you show fat people, then you're gonna let other people think that it's okay to be fat. Like, as if people are that one-dimensional, you know? Why can't it be that, hey, body positivity will just teach people to love who they are, versus, hey, somebody who's showing somebody or celebrating somebody who celebrates their body and they're bigger? Why is the natural mindset like, oh, they're just telling everybody to stay fat and be fat? It's again, listening through trauma, watching with trauma, keeping that mind of trauma. Bye, they call me. Thank you so much for coming through. It's that mindset of you kind of looking at things through a very particular warped lens and thinking that and putting that on everybody, you know? It's sad. It's sad that people are like that. And that's something that I could relate to in regards to Black people, right? Representation equals normalization, you know? Showing more of the diversity of people in media can help how people view those people when they see them in real life. It's the same thing. Yeah, because people don't like different. Ain't that the truth? People don't like different. And you know what it's like when you talk to somebody and you're saying, you know, A plus B equals C. And when they recite what you're saying or tell somebody else what you said, they say like, oh, what they said was X and J and K and L come together and equals Z. And it's like, nah, I didn't even say none of them letters. I ain't even said none of them. That whole half of the alphabet didn't even come out my mouth. And it wasn't even what I meant. And I think that as a society, we really have to take a step back and take a moment and listen to what people are saying and try to understand what they're saying, versus just jumping in with, oh, this is what you're saying, and then just throwing it all at people. You see it on social media all the time. That's part of the reason why all these uproars and things happen, because people just attack. And it's because everybody's got their traumas. Everybody's going through ish. You don't know. I laugh because I have said 2020 is the second worst year of my life, right? And there were so many things going on in the world, but so many things that personally I was going through that nobody had any idea. A few friends know some things, but nobody knows the lengths of the issues and stuff that I was going through in 2020 or in 2019 or in 2018 or in 2016, you know? So we are all going through ish. Just take a second before you feel attacked. Take a second. Be like, is this really an attack, or is this person just speaking from a different place? You know, just take that second. And yes, Boots is right. Weight used to represent wealth. Back in the day, if you was fat, that meant you were eating well. And if you were eating well, that meant that you had the money to eat well, you know? So it is unique now that, and mind you, that was only mainly with men, right? Because they do look, the beauty standard did exist then in regards to, well, they were more so on the money. They were marrying, everybody was more so marrying. Marriage back then was way more of a business, contract and business exchange versus, for love, marriage for love was not really a popular thing back then. It was for, hey, what can this marriage do for our family? You were essentially selling your kids or being bought, to get into different families. But I digress. Moral of the story, be mindful of how you are taking in and importing and exporting what you see. Be mindful and, take a step back before you, react to what is being said in a public situation. If you're at home and something makes you angry, that take a second, think it through, and dive in. And I think you definitely have more time than in person, or you definitely have a lot of time on social media. So take a second, okay? Before we get all upset. And just because you see fat people on Instagram doesn't mean that they're telling you, hey, you should be fat. All right? They just living their lives. Let people live. Just, what's that song? Drink water and mind my business. Mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. That didn't happen. That did not happen. All right, next video.